This show is being brought to you by KIWK Studio, 2201 Barataria Boulevard, Suite L in Marrero. Please give us a call at 504-941-0585 or visit us at www.kiwkstudio.com. If you want to book any type of event, pop-up shop, host any type of gathering, give us a call. And we're back. Our next guest is Miss Kanisha Martin. She's the mother of Kaylin Ward, the 16-year-old whose body was found on Interstate 10. Hi, Miss Kanisha. Okay. So, as I introduced you, you are the mother of Miss Kaylin Ward. And again, I'm sorry for your loss. So you guys, you know this woman has a special place in my heart. So we've been Facebook friends, but I feel like we're friends in real life. Okay, so I followed her story. She's followed mine, and she's a very strong woman. And you're doing a lot of things and for the community, and she's helping a lot of mothers. And I definitely admire you, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. So, for people that don't know, just give them a little bit of your story. I know that the heading for the incident. I mean, you said that she was a rebellious teen. Yes. And I know that you basically, I remember the interview was years ago, and it was something that you said that kind of stuck out. And it was basically you were telling kids to, this is what happens when you don't listen. And people were basically saying that it just came off as you were hard. But a mother's love.
I just didn't feel like I needed to sugarcoat anything. I just felt like her death needed to help someone else.
Okay.
There was no need for me to make her out to be this perfect child because she wasn't. I loved the ground this child walked on.
Of course.
But she was rebellious, and that's what most of our teens are, rebellious.
Yes. And you know what I can respect about you is that none of our kids are perfect. And oftentimes, and I'm not one to talk about nobody's kids, okay? But oftentimes, I mean, some kids do commit a lot of these murders and a lot of these crimes, and then their parents get up there and say, he was a good child, he never hurt nobody. He was a good child to you, but the bottom line is that, so your child didn't murder anybody. She was actually on the receiving end.
Right.
And you still said that she was a rebellious child.
Right. She wanted to hang with the wrong crowd. She just didn't want any rules. She just got with the wrong people, and she wanted to do what she wanted to do.
Okay, so was this a murder?
Yes, it was. But
was it ruled a murder?
They haven't ruled it as anything.
Okay, because when I was introducing it, I wasn't sure because I never really heard a follow up on exactly the way it was ruled.
And they don't follow up on it. Most of the information, not most, all of the information that they have for the case was presented by me.
Okay.
Of course, we live in New Orleans, where this is of the norm for them, so they're not working on the case. When I call, the detective is never responding.
Oh, wow.
What else? They're always on another case. So, unfortunately, it's not being solved.
And that's so sad, and I'm glad you brought that up because, again, and I want people to understand that this is not the norm. They want people to actually believe it's like someone get murdered, you celebrate their death with a T-shirt or some, and a second line, and then it's like, it's not normal.
It's not.
The family never properly heals. I know life goes on, but at the end of the day, your child did not die of a natural cause, a sickness or anything. Someone has actually taken a life. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like it's the norm.
And life actually doesn't go on.
Exactly.
Because I felt like from that day, my life has not
been the same.
It hasn't been the same.
No.
I feel like I'm still stuck in that day.
Mm-hmm.
People see the smile, they see me helping other people, but deep down inside, I'm literally dying. I literally died the day my child died.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
So with the situation, she was with a friend.
Yes. And apparently nobody is saying. A child actually contacted me on April 4th when her body was found, but she was not identified until April 8th. Nobody knew who she was, until June 8th. So we gave all this information to the police and we're like, okay, so how would this child know this information?
Okay.
And you all didn't know this information. So it's a lot of back and forth and
So
basically.
Kanisha, where did you think that she was?
She actually had left because she stole my car and I went off.
Okay.
So she was at a friend's house that I had already spoke with this mom, and I had already told this mom, listen, I don't want your daughter at my house, and my daughter can't come to your house.
Okay.
But of course, this mom, she basically told me that she grew up with her kids.
Okay.
So, so everything was okay, whatever her kids did. So she went to that house, and she left there, and that was the end of it.
So how many days was it that you haven't heard from your child?
She had left on Sunday. I want to say it was Monday.
Okay.
It was Monday that I went with the police
Okay.
to get her from another home that she was at, where it was a group of teenagers where the mom had moved out with her boyfriend and left them with the house. I waited 4 hours for the police. When the police came, he told me there was nothing he could do because they weren't answering the door. I said, well, I know they're in there because I saw them go in. I said, I've been sitting here for 4 hours. I said, and there are minors in there, so get child protection, somebody involved. He told me, well, at this time it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So then he tells me, well, I don't even have the necessary paperwork. So if you want to file a complaint or anything, you need to go to the station. I said, I won't do that. I sat out here for 4 hours to make sure nobody went in and out this house. And so after that, 2 days later.
So you had never heard from your child for 2 days?
She actually called that Wednesday.
Okay.
That Wednesday evening, and she called a friend of mine that was at my house, and she told her, she was crying. She said, I just want to go home. I hate being in other people's house. I just want to go home. So my friend was like, why don't you come home? Your mama never said you had to leave. You chose to leave. And so she said, well, I'm coming home tonight. I knew she was coming home anyway because that next day was my son's kindergarten graduation. And those two were inseparable. She would never miss anything for him. So I knew, when she left, I was like, she'll be back. It's Thursday's his graduation or whatever. So I guess in the midst of trying to come home, something went wrong.
And so what do you say to those people that were judging you? Because the very, we all read the comments and they were like, well, the first thing, where was her mother? Because there was some other incidents that happened where a couple of teenagers were killed right after that. Because remember, at first, everybody thought it was a serial killer.
Right.
So what do you say to people like that?
What I say to them is to stop being in denial about their own kids.
Okay.
We all have a struggle with our kids. Some people just choose not to face it. They try to live this fantasy life. And I just don't live that fantasy life. It is what it is. My child, I was dealing with some things with her where she just wanted to do what she wanted to do. And the parent I am, I wasn't going to lie for her. I wasn't going to allow her to ruin her life. I fought to save her life.
As you should have.
But for those who wanted to know where the mom was, probably was church, school, or work, one of the three, So it wasn't like she had a mom that was in the streets. And people couldn't understand why I wasn't passing out and falling out and screaming, because when you do all that you can do, God gives you the peace that you need.
And what was her cause of death?
At this point, they're saying
Trauma.
blunt force trauma.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. So you have a book right here.
Yes.
So could you tell us about this book?
This book is geared toward teens. It's basically to inform them of the things that could happen when they basically just doing what they want to do, when they just living that life that they want to live.
Okay.
I felt like this book would help parents and teens open their lines of communication.
Okay. There was a lady who we interviewed right before you, Miss Wallace, and she seems like she want to get involved in some health organizations, and I see you have Saving Our Queens. So if there's other parents that's dealing with what you dealt with, is there a way that they can join the organization, or what can you guys do to come together, to help one another, and how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, anybody that's needing to get in touch with me, I can be reached at 504-535-6413, or you can email me at kaylan.ward@yahoo.com. That's kaylin.ward@yahoo.com. My organization is based on creating, to teach our girls to be the queens they were created to be. I assist with a lot of different things. I do a prom drive.
Okay.
It's just a lot.
So you have lost your biological daughter and
Yes.
gained a couple more.
Many.
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 I see how involved you are. I see that you have, I think you went back to her school or something, and I know that you've been very active and very helpful with other mothers and just with other kids and teens,
Yes.
basically.
And it's like everywhere I go, you Kaylin's mom, you Kaylin. Yes, I'm Kaylin's mom.
Okay, well, thank you so much
Thank you.
for being a guest on the show.
Thank you.
And I'll keep up with you and and assist with your events.
Thanks for helping.
Okay.
And having me.
All right, thank you.